everybody. Allow your feet to touch in the center. We're going to start in Tai Chi Harmony the same way we do every week. Bring your head top up to the highest point, and then try to relax everything between those 2 points so that your feet are connected to the ground and the crown chakra is moving upwards, pushing up into the sky. So relax the shoulders, relax your hips, relax your knees, relax your midsection. And then breathing, bring your hands together in the center. And then from there, just relax your arms to the side and do the arm thing again. This time, try to keep your shoulders completely relaxed. Keep your elbows completely relaxed and your wrists as well. As if you're breathing. By breathing, filling up the lungs, is bringing the hands together. So you're using as little effort as possible. Efficiency is achieving the result with minimum input. So as if your breathing is doing the motion. And when we start Tai Chi Harmony, the base of the palms connect first, and then the fingertips. So relax, go back to the beginning. With your feet gripping the ground, feel like your weight, feel gravity acting on your body. Relax your tailbone, relax your shoulders, relax your head and neck. And as if you have something heavy, you pick up a heavy bag, and when you set it on the ground, it goes to a state of relaxation. So set your whole body vertically onto the ground as if you're leaving it there to rest. You can keep your feet activated to feel the strong base. By the way, questions, thoughts, comments, you can blurt them out at any time. So while you're resting, when your body is at rest on the ground, from the center, pushing upwards. So imagine if your body is completely relaxed and you have a stick and you want to poke right up through the center and let everything else relax. And then take another deep breath. Bring the palms together. And let's look for the calibration points, the places. At the top, for the crown chakra, you want to feel the energy is moving up here, and then the movement is in the up direction. So it feels like there's a string pulling you up. How far up does the energy go? It goes all the way to the center of the universe. That's how far. And then moving down the body, relax your brow. So let all the tension go out. You can raise your eyebrows, raise one eyebrow, wiggle your eyebrows. Feel the amount of tension that's in your forehead and allow it to relax. See if you can wiggle your ears. Sometimes we'll do an exercise where we massage the skin on the top of our head. Try to do it without touching. You can move different muscles around the skull. Get all of that relaxed and opened up. Open the vision. So make like really big eyes and then allow them to go back to their natural resting position. Open your nostrils in the front of your face. Keep the tongue connected to the upper palate. If you know where it goes all the way up there. The chin is tucked. The neck is straight, but it's relaxed. So we're pushing up, but it's hanging somehow at the same time. The chest is hollow, the armpits have a space, and the elbow is not pinched. It should be relaxed. We're using the center to support, so the up force happening inside. Tailbone is relaxed. We're going to talk a little bit about lifting the base of the torso. For people that are new, some people taking this class on YouTube, entirely new, they don't have the training. So when we talk about, I use very simple terms, lift the pelvic floor, lift the base of your torso. There's the same way we had talked about the face, your brow and the sinuses and the eyes and all the muscles on the sides of the head. There's a lot of geometry down here. There's a lot of muscles and a lot of things that we can do. So in the beginning, when you're new, when you lift the base of the torso, it's only going to feel like one action. But as you become more experienced, as you practice this with your breathing, lifting, you can separate the different things that you're doing. The lower abdominal wall, the base of the genitals, the perineum, the anus has broken down into 4 different parts: top, sides, bottom. The tailbone, where your coccyx is. There's a whole variety of things. And as you practice, you should fine-tune what those are. Both for beginners and experts alike, we don't want to use too much pressure. When we say lift, there's a type of gentle squeezing. Doing too much can create problems. So fine-tuning that area as well, allowing it to relax and putting tension to just the right places. So that said, we said the energy at the top is going all the way up. I want you to make a connection between the very base of your torso, like a piece of fruit, an apple or a pumpkin, has at the base, there's a spot, and at the top where the stem grows off. So while you're breathing, I want you to, that point, it's at the direct bottom on the perineum, between the sex organs and the anus, there's a space. And I want you to lift that, and I want you to internally, while you're breathing, feel as though you can pull that one single point, like you're pulling a string, and I want you to pull it all the way up to the top of your head. So we feel the energy at the top of the head is going up, and we feel the energy at the base when you're lifting that. Don't squeeze too much, pulling that energy up through the center of the torso to the top of the head. Keep the tailbone relaxed. Knees have a light fold in them. The ankles are not folding in or folding out, but instead they're expanded. They should feel as if they're filled with chi and strong. Tops of the feet are activated, the bottoms of the feet are relaxed. So the tendons on the top are gripping, but the bottom underneath is soft. You can think of the bottom padding of your foot, even inside your shoe, as something soft like a waffle or a pancake or some type of springy rubber. And so now that we're here, I want you to make a connection between your feet. Imagine you can draw the earth energy in. You're going to bring it all the way up to the top. So feel like when you're breathing, you can pull the energy in to the top. And then on the exhale, I want you to feel as if you can bring the energy from the top, from the crown chakra, all the way down. So like you have a vessel, and you're going to move the energy to the top of it and move it to the bottom of it. And feel the difference between the ground chi and the chi that's coming from above. So inhaling, pull all the way up. And then when you exhale, you can envision it, you can feel it. In the beginning, if you can't feel it, just use your mind all the way down. Time it with your breathing. Breathe at your own pace. And while you're doing this, you can also be doing multiple things at the same time. So while you're breathing, check. Have you started tensing up your back? How about your neck? We've talked about external calibration. Keep doing the breathing, keep doing the qigong. Bring the qi all the way from the ground to the top, and then bring the qi from the top all the way to the ground. And check, can you relax your elbows more? Can you relax your wrists? Can you relax your vision? And then while you're breathing, check. We're doing all this relaxation for the muscles and tendons. Can you relax your brain? Can you relax your eyeballs? Can you keep the tongue pressing up there, but make it softer? We're into meditative breathing. Can you relax your lungs even more to be softer? And when you did that, can you feel you can take a deeper breath? The same thing with we're not going to go through all of the organs, you get the idea. Can we let all of the organs in the lower chamber, in the lower, the triple heater, the bottom portion, can we let all of that relax? Don't relax too much, you may need to go to the bathroom. Same thing with your legs. We're just standing here. Remember, we set our body on the ground like an inanimate object that rests with gravity. Can you relax the tops of your legs? Can you relax your calves? And we already mentioned, can you relax the bottoms of your feet while you stand? That's a challenge. So take a deep breath, relax. What is the importance of this? All of these, let's do some breathing. All of these ideas that I talk about when we're doing this, these principles, we should be practicing them, all of them, the whole time that we're practicing Tai Chi. By the way, go at your own pace. We're doing some Qigong breathing, like charging up. So when you put your phone or your car onto the charger, you don't think about it. In fact, you take a deep breath and relax because you're getting a recharge. So the same way, doing this type of Qigong is very soft, very relaxed, is like putting money back into your savings account. It seems like you're moving, it seems like you're doing effort, so there should be some loss. But we want to become so efficient with the breathing, taking in so much oxygen, that by the time that we're done with the exercise, we actually have more energy than we started. So we make the investment of minimal movement, the least movement that we can do to generate the qi. Tai Chi, Bagua, Qigong, these are not like a traditional workout. When you go to the gym, when you work out, you have less energy when you're finished. You're tired. When you practice Tai Chi, Bagua, Chinese martial arts, Qigong, some forms of yoga, when you finish, you should have more energy than you started. And if that doesn't compute, if that doesn't make sense to you, you should explore what's required to do that. It means using less energy to generate the energy. Everybody knows you have to spend money to make money. In this particular case, we have to spend a little bit of qi to make qi. So I oftentimes start my class with this type of long breathing exercise to help students get themselves energized. You don't know where a student is coming from when they get to class. You can oftentimes tell many details, but in the beginning, it's best to charge up with energy. Just do one more, whatever pace, wherever you're at, and when you reach the top, go back to the center and recalibrate again in Tai Chi harmony. And then relax. Let's do a little bit more stretching. So we'll start at the top, reach across, grab the opposite ear, and stretch. This one is a very popular exercise with people. With this one, make sure that you're pushing that head top up. Don't allow your spine or neck to have any, feel your center line, that point from the bottom and the point from the top are lined up so that the energy travels freely. And then relax, try the other side. We can actually do another modification to this. When you have this here, turn your thumb all the way down and then turn your thumb all the way up. So this rolling, try to isolate your shoulder when you do it so it's just the forearm. Come back to the center, relax. We'll do one on the other side with the rotation. So, try to pull this elbow back. You don't want to pull it back too far because it can create a stretch. You want to make sure, let's see if I can get these things in line, lined up this way. And then turn while you're stretching. So feel like you're reaching for something. You're trying to extend a little bit further and rotate that. This is, well, let's do the other side before I talk some more. Push the head top up, reach, and then turn the forearm. But we're like a drill. We're reaching and turning at the same time. But the drill has reached its limit. So we want to try to push and turn and then come back to the center and relax. We're going to talk today about this type of turning because we've spent a lot of time this morning already in Tai Chi Harmony. May be boring for advanced students that already know, but you can be using this time to fine-tune the practice. So these principles, when we say the head top, the chin, the tongue, the ears, the feet, the toes, the ankles, all of these different principles, when we're practicing Tai Chi, when at any given point, when I'm doing grasp the sparrow's tail, if we stop, my feet, tailbone, shoulders, head, neck, hands should all have those same principles, same properties. And there's ones that we can't talk about in Tai Chi Harmony. We can talk about getting into Tai Chi Harmony, pardon me. And one of those moving principles is the forearms are rotating. So we said in every posture, we have the waist is turning, we have the elbows turning, and another wheel that's happening is the forearm is continuously changing back and forth between yin and yang, the radial and ulna bones, these two bones turning. So let's do, I'll face the camera, let's do a Chán Sī exercise. We have more stretches to do before we work. Do some shoulder rolls. Bring all the movement from the center. And if you're bored doing the same exercise, take it to the level that you're at. So can you actually, we talked about relaxing the muscles, the tendons, the bones. Can you relax your bones? Does anyone know the difference between a young bone and an old bone? It's like a tree. Young tree, very green on the inside, and you can't break it. Even if you manage to break it, it's still connected at one part and some of it's broke. But change directions, keep breathing, keep working. But an old bone, like an old tree, when you break it, is clean break. Maybe a few splinters, and breaks very easily. So in the Qigong culture, you can do breathing all the way down to your bones. So we said, can you relax your brain? Let your brain expand and relax. While you're doing this exercise with the shoulder rolls, alternate. Can you change your bone quality? Can you make your ribs, the rib cage, the bone softer? Can you make it malleable? Because in the Tao Te Ching it says that which is old and brittle breaks. But it says that which is young and flexible survives. Did we change directions from the alternate? Keep breathing. And this is sort of a Tai Chi principle that goes even deeper than what we had talked about. We'll go back to stretching in a minute. But when you're doing grasp the sparrow's tail and ward off, we had said tailbone, head, neck, shoulders, all these different adjustments. Can you breathe down to your bones when you practice? This is the real advanced level, is being able to change something into another thing. When the alchemists talk about changing a common element into a greater element, we could talk about what that means. I think of that as changing something that seems fixed, your negative emotion, into something positive emotion. And so we can use Tai Chi as a type of changing machine to take whatever's negative inside of us, if our bones have become hard and rigid with time, with age, or perhaps it's our mind, perhaps it's our lungs, perhaps it's our neck. We want to use Tai Chi as a moving machine to change those things, to change from yin to yang. Let's continue. Take a comfortable step, make sure that you have room for your arms, and we're going to carry the same idea that we just talked about a second ago. This type of, keep working, this type of pushing, drilling movement, except this time with the head top. So relax your lower body. And imagine, we said, when you're reaching out the arm, that you're stretching it and that you're rotating it. Well, imagine now that your upper spine is that part of the body. So I want to stretch this out and I'm rotating it. Check to see that you have a very serious expression while you do this one. I don't think I told people to have a half smile this morning yet. So if you need reminded, keep stretching the spine. Reach the head top up there. Extend the neck. And you notice my hips and my jawline don't move. So take a break for a second. Breathe, relax. We said in Tai Chi, every turn, every posture has a waist turn. A waist turn from our perspective, from what I'm talking about, is from the hips. If you put your hands on the hips, it's the corners of the pelvis, and then you slide them up to the base of the ribs. It's about a hand width on the sides, between there, maybe more or less, depending on, everyone has a different body. But that soft tissue around the lumbar spine, that's where we're turning. My head, for this particular exercise, I say your hips and your jawline facing forward. But in the Tai Chi, in the martial arts, it may change. If I'm here, my hips may rotate to make the power, and my face may not face the same direction. But because we're doing Qigong exercise, Qigong warm-up, so for instance, if I do grasp the sparrow's tail and ward off here, my hips are going to be rotating, and my face is going to be watching my opponent. When you practice Tai Chi, when you're on your own, you look at either the horizon. If you're at the beach, you can see all the way to the edge of the ocean. If you're in your backyard, you have a fence, you look at the most beautiful flower, the most interesting thing that you can see. Or you practice keeping your eyes, you can look through your fence all the way to the horizon. But when we're practicing, let's do some more, this type of exercise, it's like a perfect practice. So it's not wrong to look around, but we want to be pushing and stretching. So let's do one more of these. So really send your hands on vacation while you're doing this. How many here remember being on a swing set as a kid and trying to see if you can get into the state of free fall? We want the same thing to happen with the hands here. So I'm sitting down into the resting foot and letting the hands and fingertips fly away, breathing deep, stay relaxed. Come back to the center. Grip your feet, push your tailbone back and away. You can kind of shake and unroll your spine and allow yourself to truly relax. I'm going to stand up so I can talk, but while you're doing this, see if you can let the space between your spinal vertebrae expand. And it's gentle. We're using the power of gravity. We're not using a stretcher. Remember to do the deep breathing, especially when you find yourself in an unusual or upside down type situation. Continue to breathe. And then when you're ready, grip the ground, root yourself, make your energy low, and then breathing low to the ground. inflate all the way up, relax. We're going to do that one more time. So again, grip the ground. This is your time, this is your yoga. So really allow yourself to relax. The more you can relax, the better benefit you get from this type of exercise. Remember the deep breathing. See if you can fold your body a little bit more in half. Push your butt, your tailbone closer to the sky, and really allow the rest of it to relax off of that high point. And then when you're ready, grip the ground with your feet. Put the energy, the chi in your legs so that you don't have any dizziness. Reach all the way up and then relax. Take a deep breath. Next, we are going to do some leg stretching. So, if you have a shoulder width wide stance, you put one foot forward. You can use this leg to support. If you're new and you're starting out, you can use something very stable. I want you to practice stretching your leg. When you do this, keep your lower abdominal wall folded so that the front of the torso is straight. And then remember to breathe as much as you can. You can put your foot out there as far as you feel comfortable. Try to pull your toes towards your nose or your chin. Reach to stretch. Breathe on your own. And then push forward. We're going to do the other side. So by the way, this one this is your workout, this is your stretch. These are opportunities for us all to improve ourselves. So nobody can do the work for you. So if you like to stretch more, you benefit yourself more. But if you like to just do the stretch just to say you're doing it, you don't get as much benefit. So the person that benefits is you. So push your tailbone back and away, fold your torso, extend your neck. Remember to breathe most of all, and allow your body to stretch. If you feel pain, you can smile because that means it's getting stretched. Push forward, stand up. I just said something I want to address immediately. Pain is one of the body's ways of saying stop. So we have new users, new Tai Chi practitioners starting looking at classes all the time. So we have to realize soreness is okay. If we do this kind of stretch and you reach and you say, oh man, where I've been using the mouse, my computer all week is sore. Soreness is okay. Pain is one of the body's ways of saying stop. And for some people, people that aren't that internally sensitive, some people have a very high tolerance for pain. Whether it's physical pain, you can hit them, punch them, they don't care. Or some people develop a very high tolerance for other types of pain. Emotional pain, mental dealing with situations that are, and they just like the person who can withstand a heavy physical attack. So we want to become sensitive to that and be able to distinguish the difference between soreness. Let's stretch on each side again and see. If I stretch and I do this, the deeper I go, it feels sore. If I were to sit all the way down, it might turn into some kind of pain. So we need to find what that layer is. Stretch, maintaining a margin away so that we don't injure ourselves. If your practice makes you worse, what good is it? You might as well do something far more reckless that will get you on a Red Bull video or some type of extreme YouTube channel. So let's try the other side just to balance that out. Make sure you stretch. You can push it, especially if you have something to balance to find, but don't find the area where you have pain. Work up to it. Know your own body. You have to become your own physical therapist to truly work on yourself. Before we continue, thoughts, questions, comments, ideas. I'm still working out. There's one stretch that's missing from this class. And if you at home, if you know how to do it safely, then you should be practicing this daily, at least one time a day. If you don't, I recommend waiting until either we cover it or you can find a better video on YouTube. What is this one? Is being able to do this. We should be able to do this and change from side to side. If you go here, we should have the leg strength and the structural understanding to get back and forth very safely, up and down, change, up and down, right? This type of thing. So we'll work that out. Before we do some Tai Chi, anyone have questions, thoughts, comments, ideas? Okay, so grasp the sparrow's tail, ward off. The two basic ones. Let's turn that into a, it's not turning it into, there's a different exercise called, has several names. The most basic in Mandarin is called Chán Sī Jīn. And so Chán Sī Jīn is a warm-up exercise and a teaching exercise and a Tai Chi Qigong. Some people are not interested to learn the Kung Fu form. And it's not required to learn Tai Chi, but it is required to learn Tai Chi Chuan. So for people just interested to do the Qigong without learning all these complex movements and what happens and all of this, we can practice one exercise that has everything that we need. So in this exercise, I'm going to face away from the camera. I'm shifting from one foot to the other. See if you can keep your tailbone on like a flat line, as if I put my tailbone up here and I want to just slide it back and forth along that edge, but instead it's entirely relaxed. So make your feet at least shoulder width wide, and then sit your tailbone down. Allow the lower back to unfold and just practice shifting that from one side to the other. And next, we're going to add a waist turn. Look all the way to the east. Look all the way to the west. And you can coordinate it with your shift for now. So I shift to the right, I look to the right. Remember, all of the same Tai Chi principles. Keep your head top up, chin is tucked. Ears lined up over the shoulders, face is relaxed, half smile, tongue in the right place, toes gripping the ground, relaxed tailbone, center supported. All these things happening. You want to have that sense of body being. And next, we're going to add the arms. So when I turn right, my right hand goes. When I turn left, my left hand goes. And this movement is an abstraction, but you can give it a value. Like you're pushing, like you're opening the door, right? So if it's here, imagine this, if this is open, is when I turn to the right, I want to, like this. And then when I turn to the left, and I turn to the right. So like I'm pushing, right? Like there's a push there. And I'm looking, time the breathing with the movement. And next, for the push, we're going to turn the forearm out. So if I face yet another direction, when I turn, I'm going to turn my forearms. So my forearm is rotating throughout. So in the center, I'm holding the ball. On the side, I'm pushing. And then we reverse, I'm holding the ball. And then pushing, hold the ball, push, hold the ball, push. What happens to this other hand? It comes up and rotates. Push, hold the ball, push. And what I want you to be doing is a basic Tai Chi movement. The spinal column is shifting between the two sides. It has a left support and a right support. The waist is turning, making the whole body. If I don't animate my arms and I just turn, it looks something like this. So my center is shifting between the two poles. My spine is shifting between one pole and the other, and it's rotating. I'm looking. And then we're adding, we can just think of this like two fan blades with the center point at your elbow. So it's turning here. And then adding this as well. We had talked about this earlier. So you can, and now, this is where if you like to practice on your own, there is no set standard. We could, even from a martial arts standpoint. So earlier I said, we shift to the right, and my hand, and I look right, and my hand goes right, but I can shift to the left. It's still correct. I don't have to shift to the same side. Can my hands reverse the order, right? Instead of turning this way and pressing, can I come inwards while I'm doing it, and then shifting backwards as well? Of course. These types of variables oftentimes get categorized as specific Qigongs. I'm not doing that. What I'm trying to show you is the movement that's required is doing this type of thing. By the way, while we're doing this, let's actually try another exercise and come back to Chán Sī Jīn. Just standing. Feet shoulder width wide. Imagine you're holding the tree, right? Big round tree. And the way we had talked about it before was feel the pressure on the inside as if the qi from the tree is trying to expand against this inner circle that you have here. And I want you to inflate that. I want you to relax and have that inner feeling expand. Relax your shoulders, relax your tailbone. If you grip your feet, you can relax your whole structure to sit directly on top of your feet. And then this feeling in your arms should be expanded. Like if somebody bumped into you, they would bounce off. They should feel springy and alive and full. Now when we practice, don't just do this. Don't make it this one. That's too small. We need to have this round feeling. So when you expand here to the side, and keep it when you turn your wrist. So you see this round shape, even when I press out here, it's expanded. It should feel expanded. By the way, I was taught this exercise, 4 different teachers teaching the same exercise a little bit differently. When Jīn taught it, he would teach this lower hand like it's surfing across the ground, palm down. When TC taught it, he would teach more like holding the ball, holding the baby type thing here. So does it matter where the palm change happens? No. Master Su, Master Yun teaching it more traditional way like TC. But there's other variations, monk whipping the sleeve, right? So this is the basic form of movement from Tai Chi, and why we start with grasp the sparrow's tail and ward off, because it's sort of the most primitive type Tai Chi. We have 2 poles, left and right. We have the center pole that switches between them. We have all the circles, all the space, etc. So the idea that I want to convey is that these forearms are rotating the entire time we're practicing Tai Chi. As soon as it hits a pole, it starts to rotate back to the other pole. What does that look like in the form? Before we do more stuff, questions, thoughts, comments, ideas, anyone have thoughts, ideas? So, when we practice the form, what does it mean my forearms are always rotating? It means when I do grasp the sparrow's tail, I turn the back of my hand towards my opponent the whole time to create, because they may change. And I think I'm going to coil to grasp right here, but as they come in, they may change. And so if I have the back of my hand the whole time, I can use that as a block and change to the next, whatever the next thing is. So this comes in here, and then once it comes over the top, it starts to go palm down and can even start to push away back here for grasp the sparrow's tail, right? We have a movement in dragon palm, chasing the stars, right? Where it's like a hat, and it goes right to the center here, like this. Very, very easy one to remember, chasing the stars. So this, so when I do grasp the sparrow's tail, I grasp. The grasp is the forearm turning, and then it can turn back out to control the opponent's wrist. If it's being here and being twisted, I can turn that palm all the way out. But the idea is that it's always moving, and that there's a purpose to it moving. So let's look at the palm position. Maybe I should get some a marker, some type of washable, they make children's markers that can wash off for when they draw stuff on their face, and put some on my palm and the back of my hand so we can see when it changes. Because when I grasp the sparrow's tail here, ward off, the palm is going from face up to face in. And then when I go to grasp the sparrow's tail again, it's turning. And it's going so that aerodynamically it can scoot around. It's facing in, it's facing up, it's facing down, and it's facing out. So just for one, like drawing the inside of a figure 8 or a Tai Chi circle, and you end up on top, and then the other side doing the same thing. So this rotating is a big portion of it. And by the way, this kind of rotating can be used, we use it in martial arts. In the first section, a few weeks ago, Charlotte had a question about lift hands to up posture. So this is, as a martial arts technique, if you have a big surface in front of you, if you have to fight a large opponent, right, and you only come up to here on your opponent, that means their ribs are right here, which is a good space where you can, this rolling, we can use it not only as a block, but all of these little, you have these little bumps, your knuckles, you see this little bumpy bone right here, and this little thing, and you have the edge of your forearm here, rolling that stuff into somebody's ribs or across somebody's throat or in their face, very painful. And so this type of rolling appears as is it defense, is it offense? Can we use it for either? What about crane, the next one? The palms are in and then they change to out. So every posture has a same as the waist turn, same as the elbows. We have, what is it called? Rolling the forearm. It's easy to say there's a waist turn. We just say rotate the elbows. Let's do a little bit of Tai Chi. We're going to do the first section just so that we can say that we've done some Tai Chi. By the way, today we are going to attempt to film our prototype of the form learning, how to learn the form. So if you are at home and when you see the form being practiced, you go to sit down in your chair on your bed watching, waiting for the form to be over. Soon enough, we will have instructions. We're going to start very simply. We're going to start with a prototype one that talks about grasp the sparrow's tail and ward off. We're going to expand that into the first, it's about 12 postures because we include, there's some that repeat, whatever, but all the way up to hook and whip, and then the extended one will be to the first section. If we can complete that, I intend to do all 3 sections that way. But in the beginning, all the way up to hook and whip. So let's do some Tai Chi. Pick a space that's to the left of, to the right of center. Bring your head top up. Relax your tailbone. Do the calibration. So internally change yourself and become your own therapist. Internally find out what is wrong. Why is there so much tension in your neck? Where is it coming from? You think it's your work. Is it your work or is it the relationships? Is it the relationships at the work? Either way, you have to become your own therapist. So inside, relax your mind, take a deep breath, connect the tongue to the upper palate, have at least a half smile that you have this time for yourself to improve. That should allow you to take another deep breath, and we're going to open Tai Chi, Chi Chi, the start of Tai Chi, or commencement. And this posture sort of ends in Happy Bear. We stay in Happy Bear until the action happens. We stay in our relaxed state until the power comes. And so, grasp the sparrow's tail right. Looking forward, step forward. Ward off, left. Breathing deep, grasp the sparrow's tail, left. Sink your tailbone down there. Grip your feet to relax your tailbone. Breathe deep, roll back. Join the palms, press to the north. Ji. Breathing deep, push. cleanse, right, double press, horizontal, split hands. The owl show is hook, dampian, single whip. See how my forearm rotates throughout the posture. Waist turning, elbows turning, forearms turning. The wheel is turning. Lift hands to up posture, turning. This is crane, opening the wings. So-wei pipa is like playing a harp right down the center line and press also to the center. Square step back. Take your time. Breathe deep. Bounce. Right hand comes through the center. Crane. So-wei pipa. Low shi. Press. Brush knee. C-step. Press. Brush knee. C-step. Press. Holding the moon in the chest. Shift to the rear foot. Block right up the center line. The thumb unwinds with the forearm to punch. I'm going to step back. And now scoop, turn 45. Ban. Long breathing. Lan. Shui. Scoop, waist turn, forearms turning, elbows turning. Ban. Lan. Punch. One more. Pick up the bucket, hand it to your opponent, send them on their way. Like an explosion opening in all directions, focus power to one drilling point. Rufeng. Si. We're going to turn to the north. One foot, the other foot. Right hand, left hand. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. Roll the forearms to block. Unroll the forearms to punch right, punch left. Bring everything back to the center. Take a deep breath. Form is important, and you can carry what you know into your other martial arts. I know lots of people watching. One of the purposes of Tai Chi, not Tai Chi Chuan, just the Tai Chi, is to enhance the other things that you do. So if you can keep your head top up, your chin tucked, the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and you like to use those techniques to surf because they help you keep a better balance, and you realize even rotating the forearms can act as a stabilizer while you're surfing to prevent you from losing your balance. You can do Tai Chi surfing. This is the same with Qigong. A lot of people want to know what's the difference between Qigong and Tai Chi. Qigong is simply a movement of breathing and a thought intention. So you could play Qigong football. You have a movement strategy for moving. You want to take the ball to the other end, and you want to block all the guys that try to knock you over. And you have a breathing. Chances are you're wearing a lot of gear, you're breathing heavy, and your intention is to play the football. For Tai Chi, that intention has to include self-defense, and self-defense being the continuation of your existence, the perpetuation of your mind in what we experience here. So the Tai Chi, when we're doing something, if I'm thinking about, oh, I like to have a fruit salad, this potentially someone would say that's self-defense, you have to eat. But what I'm talking about is when you reach out your arm, you're blocking something, you're striking something, you're grabbing something, or you're deflecting something. There's a self-defense aspect to it. Otherwise, it's simply a Qigong. So in Tai Chi, we have to be able to defend ourselves. What we're practicing, these postures, they're positions of power. you're putting yourself in the position of power. And how well do you put yourself in the position of power? I can stand in a very powerful posture. And we can achieve this in the Tai Chi form. After we return Tiger Mountain, block, punch right, punch left. You can stand there for a long time. There's some Kung Fu masters that recommend you do some standing and some posture for a long time to make sure that you have some type of strength. But in Tai Chi, when we're practicing, you can maintain that posture as long as you need, as long as it takes to feel powerful. And just as important as standing static is getting into that posture. When we do the punch, we can really see the turning of the forearm here. We have Lan opening. If somebody's here, their arms are in front of them, I want to just get those out of the way. So if I keep that round shape like the tree and I open, it's here. My hand is going to make a full circle. In fact, I actually turn it out so that it can travel some more. So it comes down, I'm scooping, like I'm picking up the cannonball. And then as I get to the surface, I'm rotating and closing. And this, by the way, is in slow motion. The impact is just for a second. It's just this one moment of impact. And then after I've done the strike, my body goes back to relax entirely. So this is the type of time dilation you should be able to understand when you're practicing. Once your legs are conditioned to stand for a long time, this is why I don't do a long form in a class. You see how long we have the class today. How long we take to practice each posture, super slowly. When you're on your own and you have your headphones in, you're in your backyard, you're in the park, nobody's disturbing you, you can practice as slow as you like. In this particular forum, these classes could probably be longer because this morning I spent almost an entire half hour on warm-up and warm-up theory, that type of thing. That said, before we continue, questions, thoughts, comments, ideas, because we're coming up on time. We have just a few minutes left. Let's do some Qigong to close. Take a nice, comfortable stance. Relax all the way down to your feet. You've made it through another hour of me being chatty Chatterton, talking so much, and you've learned something, and you've added to your energy, you've added to your power. So now, let's increase that. With this Qigong, I want you to have the intention in your mind, the idea in your mind, that when you finish the Qigong, after this kind of long breathing, that you're going to have more energy than you started. So here the forearms facing in, here they're facing out. You can be rotating them the whole time. Breathing deep. Long breathing. If you knew you were going to get more energy, wouldn't that make you smile? Change directions. And if you realize that you could generate an infinite energy scam through your lungs, you could sit there and breathe all the time and get more and more energy, wouldn't that make you really smile? The Tai Chi meditative mind should be balanced in such a way where we realize we can create an infinite energy scam, but we don't need to. This exercise we're practicing right now, the nickname is sunrise, sunset. Everything has a start and an end. In Chinese culture, you cannot see a full dragon. If you see its head, you will never see its tail. If you see its tail, you can never see its head. If you see both, its body is long and coiled behind the mountains and behind the clouds. You can never see how big a dragon truly is. In the same way, our lives, starting and ending, and most people cannot see most of our lives. The dragon's body is too long for everyone to see. We only see parts of it. Breathing, come back to the center. I did not count, so if you need to count, you can practice that. Let your hands float. Feel that they're so lightweight. Use your mind to control the density of your bones, your muscle, and your tendon. And when you feel good, bring your feet back together in the center. Return your body and your mind to Tai Chi harmony. Put your mind into the Dantian. You can close your eyes if you're in a safe space, and breathing, focus your mind center into your Dantian. Half smiles the minimum. Take a second to give thanks to yourself. Take a second to give thanks to yourself, for yourself. One long, last, deep breath. And that's it. Call, write, email with questions.
Thank you, Brian.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
You too.